Well, that sucked.
I think we can run the table. I really do.
Giants looking for a stop. They're going to air it out. Rodgers does this better than anybody. End zone, Cobb, touchdown! Unbelievable! This to send the Packers into the NFC Championship game. It is good! The Packers are moving on. Aaron Rodgers has done it again.
Grassy Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am your host, Tom Grassi, and boy, oh boy, what a thriller. Man, it's just great when the Packers get shut out at home for the second time this season. What just a slobber knocker of a game. I'm not going to even lie to you. I was good up until halftime. I said, listen, we're still in this game. There's still potential. I may or may not have fallen asleep just a tiny bit. It wasn't for very long. I told myself, all right, Tom, let's just close your eyes just for a little bit. You wake up when the Packers score. And so it was the end. It was the end of the game. But holy crap, what a terrible game. For those few people that were complaining last week about Aaron Rodgers and said, hey, let's just throw Brett Hundley in and see what happens. You happy now? Because, boy, really getting that offense moving. Holy crap. Okay, let's break this game down. This is going to be a short episode because, quite honestly, there's nothing to talk about. But walking into this game, we have a litany of injuries. Matthews is out, Perry's is out, Adams, Rodgers, Jari Evans, Demarius Randall, they're all out with injuries. We're just decimated as a team. They also touched on this, and we spoke about this briefly last week, that not a single Packer is going to be represented in the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl, for me, has been a joke for the past few years, and that I don't really care about it. But that being said, the fact that there's no one even worthy on this team to go to the Pro Bowl, kind of insulting. If there's anyone who I think does deserve to go, is a potentially Devontae Adams and David Bakhtiari, because David Bakhtiari is probably the best left tackle in the league, but that's another story. And to make things even worse, the first play of the game, you have Spriggs, our right tackle, who was hurt on the first play. It looks like his hamstring. He gets carted off, which was essentially also our hopes and dreams for this game, just get carted off on the first play of the game. But, Brett Hundley at first, I can't even blame him for the first half and why things were so bad. But you have, on the first drive, you have Clark, our tight end, drops an easy ball. It was a good throw by Brett. Wasn't able to bring it in. Jordy Nelson had a bunch of drops. Obviously, he was injured. But Brett didn't play god-awful in the first half. God-awful? It wasn't good by any stretch of the imagination, but it was what it was. But the Vikings, they come out to a quick 3-0 lead. Hawkins, good God, man. Whoever thought, and listen, I know House is, injured. I know Randall's injured. But good God, man, do we have no secondary in any way, shape, or form? Because Hawkins just kept getting burned by Diggs. And obviously that changed a little bit in the second half. But the pass interference that occurred twice on Diggs and also the touchdown that they let up, Diggs was just having his way with Hawkins. And they were going up 10-0. It was, for any Packers fans, and listen, I know I'm going to get crap for this. Do you think it was weird watching this game with literally nothing at stake? This was a weird game for me. I have never fallen asleep for a Packers game since I was 8. And I took a nap. I was soundly asleep for a good portion of the fourth quarter. And it seems like our offense was too. It's just weird watching this team, and I'm yeah, I want to beat the Vikings, but if they don't win, it's not the worst thing that's gonna happen. I don't know. What do you think? Am I just being a bad person? I don't know. But having no Devontae Adams definitely hurt in this game. You heard booing throughout the entire game itself. They were there at the end of the first quarter, they were at the end of the half, and of course at the end of the game you heard a SKOL chant in Lambeau Field. Yuck. But that being said, I mean the first quarter and a half, you had 5 punts, and just showing like how quickly this team was getting the ball and just turning it right back over. And the one thing I wrote it down about Hundley is before he throws a terrible pick in the red zone, he pulled a Rodgers and he caught him with 12 men on the field. That was exciting for a quick second, and then Jordy Nelson didn't catch the ball, which was bad. But he got injured and he looked bad. I don't know why he was even in the game for as long as he was, because it looked like he was injured. Then he couldn't get out before the 2-minute warning. But then Hundley threw a terrible pick in the red zone, and there was no way that they were going to be coming back from that. And then it went up to 13 and then 16-0. Yeah, the second half was just a wash. It was just bad, guys. John Allison got injured near the end. 4th and 1 on the last drive, and Hundley throws a pick. Just not good decisions here. And, I think one of the most disappointing things is not the fact of how poorly we've done this season. Obviously, there's that. But I think a lot of people were sold on the fact that Hundley was a really good backup. And I don't think he's not the worst backup in the league, but good God, man. Just like the talent like drops off a cliff after Rodgers. But at the end of the day, it's our second shutout this year at home. Hundley, again, can't win a game at home. Why does he suck so much? He hasn't thrown a touchdown in Lambeau Field. Why do you think that is? I mean, obviously he played well against the Steelers. Obviously he has some wins on the road. But why do you think he sucks at home? That's a genuine question. I really don't have an answer for you. But he went 17 for 40, completed less than 50% of his passes, 130 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 5 for 48 on the ground rushing. Williams was 15 carries for 58 yards rushing. There was a litany of receivers that caught the ball, but none of them over 40 yards. We kept the Vikings offense in check. I mean, they only scored 16 points. They've never been like a high-powered offense in any way, shape, or form, but I don't know. I mean, I think that's the one thing if there's one positive I take out of this besides like draft picks, it's hopefully the Vikings get knocked out really, really early with that offense. And I know that's like so petty and bitter of me, but I mean every single word of it. And so that being said, we have our finale against the Lions next week. God, we just got to get out of this season. Like we do. Like we're going to sit there and we're going to watch next week's game because we're fans. And then we're going to pack it in, kids. I mean, we're going to continue the show, but I'm just saying like emotionally, we're just going to pack it in. But let me know what you think. I mean, are you still even awake right now? Did anyone watch this game after the first half? Did you fall asleep? I'm actually curious. Let me know. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossI Comedy, or Tom Grossi Comedy on the Twitter. Check out Packcast, Packast, which is this podcast. We do 2 episodes a week, one after every single game. Every Thursday, we release an interview with a fan from the opposing team. Check out this Thursday's episode, which was great, with a Vikings fan. That was wonderful. Gregory Daniels. Check that out. We're on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music, and we also do predictions episodes every week. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you and talk to you next week when we get a Lions fan on here, and then we'll wrap it up with the final game of the year against the Detroit Lions. I'm Tom Grossi. Pick your head up, Packers fans. We're almost through it. And as always, go Pack Go.